foodstuffs, it looks like. Not very much of that. All right, do y'all see right here where the small intestine runs into the large intestine? And frequently there'll be a little bit more of a difference in terms of the diameter of it, but you see how the large intestine is a little bit bigger than the small intestine? You run into the large intestine right here. The point right there, right about there, is another valve called the ileocecal valve or ileocecal sphincter. All right? And then there is a little blind sac, not much of one. They don't have a heck of a lot of one, but there is a little blind sac called the cecum. All right? And then the rest of it from the point roughly right here where the small intestine comes in, from there on is colon. And there's not a great big from about there. Y'all see how the small intestine comes in a little bit above the tip end of the large intestine? Y'all see how I can get my finger up under there? From the end of my thumb right there, this direction is colon. And that little sac right there is the cecum. All right, and the valve between the last part of the small intestine and the first part of the large intestine is called the ileocecal valve because it's at the very top of the cecum. And what do you think you're going to find in this guy? Most likely. This thing had been eating a bunch of, it looks like
grass
and stuff.
Oh, him had a tummy ache.
But he's starting to pack it in there to make feces. Y'all get to pull these out of people before long.
Yeah.
Huh?
Been there, done that.
And you think it'll stop? No, I don't think so either. All right, you got a bunch of fat down here in the pelvic area, but there's a little guy like right there. And if I cut into that, I will find rugae as well. What do you think that thing is? The bladder, the urinary bladder. Let's see. Y'all might want to watch out. We'll see what it looks like. Oh! Full of fluid anyway. Uh-huh. This is the most fun y'all get to have.
You're right.
It is. Going exploring, finding worms and feces and urine and everything. What more fun can you have? Y'all see the rugae down there? Because they got rugae as well. Those little foals. Alright, this thing has had a major blowout down here. So there's a lot of stuff down here we're going to have to just kind of pass on. Oh, man. It is a mess down here. I don't know.
cross test them on Friday afternoon like they did ours.
Well, sometimes there'll be a weak spot in the veins in particular, and if they use a little bit too much pressure, this is what happens, and you got a big mess. It's hard to tell much of anything about it, unfortunately. Just a big mess. And the thing is that this gets around all the blood vessels, and so you can't distinguish what's a good vessel and what's not. And you end up pulling out everything, practically speaking, to try to get all the latex out. And you may or may not have any good stuff left. Good God.
Trying to go to that place in Easton Mall, and they told me it wasn't there anymore. What the God? Oh, I know. Is it in East Chase? But it sucks. Because that one was huge in the Easton Mall. Yeah, there's one East Chase. I used to go
You
right
working
in
on
Chase.
that?
It ain't here no more. I was like, all right. Call the mall directory before going.
There in that mass of blue there is your renal vein, it looks like. I'm not going to be able to keep it because it tore loose. But there's the renal vein going to this thing, which is the kidney. Do y'all see the kidney? There's the left kidney. The right kidney, of course, would be on the other side, and you see all the fat around it. This thing was a fat kitty. Might have had something to do with why it had such pitiful vessels. But at any rate, why she had such pitiful vessels. Oh. Do y'all see that whitish looking thing right there that I'm up underneath, and then it continues up under that red vessel, which I'm trying desperately to leave? That is your ureter, which is, of course,